So today I have the honor to interview the world famous, the one and only, the legend, Chris Bliss. Chris, where are you from?
Canada, Toronto, Canada.
And what got you into traveling?
I'm not sure. I guess venturing off to new. Can I have another one?
Yes. Same?
Yeah, please. Venturing off to new lands, learning new languages and cultures, and it's really something you can do by yourself. So I'm a solo traveler.
I see. And right now we're here in Kiev. Yeah, it is the National Day. Yeah, but it is at war in 2022.
Yes.
Why you came to Ukraine during war times?
Just that reason. Nobody else wanted to come. I was inspired by you. I actually wanted to come, but I saw that you were here on Instagram, and it was just that extra like kick in the ass to jump on a flight, then a second flight, then a train, and a whatever else I had to get here. Bus.
That was one hell of a long bus ride. I'm exhausted. Now I gotta find a train.
It's very, very crazy. And I see you also been to Haiti.
Yeah.
One of the most dangerous islands in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Why Haiti?
Why not? I guess that's the answer. How much would it cost to buy something like this on the street? Right, my goal is to see every country in the world, so Haiti's always been on my list. And once again, it's the going to places that nobody else goes to it's enticing for me. I'm the kind of guy that if you tell me like don't do that, I get excited to do that.
When was the last time a tourist came here to drink?
Never.
I'm the first one.
You are the first one.
And was Haiti the most dangerous country you ever visited?
I didn't feel danger at any time, although I know statistically it's a very dangerous place, so no, I never felt danger.
What were the most dangerous places you ever visited?
There's only one time in my life through traveling where I was like frightened, scared, was in Colombia, in Medellin. I went to the museum during the day, and during the day in the town, the city center was so perfect. And I was going there to meet a friend at night to go to a club. And as soon as the sun went down, it's like different people came out. I had some like flamboyant pink shoes on and probably like a pink shirt or something that made me stand out as a tourist. And all I remember is like as the sun was coming down, I noticed like regular people left. And in came like drug addicts, prostitutes, pimps. So all of a sudden, I'm the only non-prostitute pimp standing there waiting for my friend to come. And neither of us had known that this area got like that at night. So a police officer grabbed me right away. He's like, come on, you gotta go. And I don't trust you to go by yourself, so get in the car. I'm gonna drive you to a safer place where you can get in a taxi. And he was so scared that he even got me like bend down in the back of the car because everybody's eyes were on me. So was I frightened? Not entirely, but I knew my senses were aroused because I could feel the tension. And especially when people are on drugs, they're more likely to attempt something.
But it's cocaine with what? With something.
And I was definitely stood out in the crowd. So did anything happen? No. If I stayed there a little bit longer, could it have happened? Yeah, for sure. But I think that's the most dangerous situation I could have been.
But so you have been to very dangerous places before, Johannesburg, Haiti, Jamaica, but the only time you got robbed were in Toronto.
The only
in Canada?
Yeah, right, yeah. I robbed in Toronto, yeah.
In Canada. And how did it happen?
I guess because if people see that you have money, they can plan and plot a way to get you. You know what I mean? So the lesson is, this happened years ago, but the lesson is don't allow friends of friends to come to your house. I was very open in the past. I run a successful business, so if I invited you to my house and you said, hey, I have 3 friends, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But those 3 friends might have ill intentions when they see your cars or your watches or your whatever it may be. So I mean, I was robbed at gunpoint, home invasion, guns to my head, my whole house robbed. And that happened in Toronto, never ever traveling.
Okay, that's crazy. But what were some of your craziest travel stories?
The craziest one, bar none, I'm in Cuba. I just came from Colombia. I flew to Cuba, which I've been to dozens of times, and I had a drone. Right when drones first came out, so it was a Phantom 1 or 2, a big hefty drone. Very, very new technology, right? I showed them at the customs in Havana. thinking that if this is wrong, bringing it into the country, they're going to confiscate it there, and I was willing to lose it there. They opened it, looked at it. I guess they didn't realize what they were doing. They let me have it. So the first day I went through Havana, and I actually stood beside a police officer on purpose to fly the drone near the beach, just to see what they would say. And he was so amazed by it that he's like taking pictures with his flip phone. He was like, incredible, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna have any problem in Cuba. I'm gonna be the first guy to shoot drone footage in Havana.
Yes.
So the next day I go out and I start shooting the drone. I'm getting all kinds of video footage. I'm so excited, I'm standing there. And I see a military officer walk over to me, and I didn't even think anything of it. I'm just like, he's gonna yell at me, I'm gonna say sorry, whatever. Maybe I lose the drone. He's like, come with me. My Spanish was worse then than it is now. And to keep the story short, within a few hours, I was locked in jail, locked up in jail.
More military started to surround me. They just dropped me between these two garage doors with barbed wire. No lighting, broken windows, bugs all over the ground. They've taken my cell phone.
I wasn't sentenced, but I was told that, prepare to be here for 20 years. Like, you're gonna be here a long time.
They said that?
Yeah. They compared me to other people in the jail that had done lesser things, and explained to me, like, can you imagine this guy broke the Door Hotel in a fight?
There was one gentleman that wasn't far from me that was from Russia. So I shouted across and just asked him, like, how long were you here? Or how long? He's like, I've been here 2 years. I got in an argument with my Cuban wife. And I'm thinking, 2 years for getting in an argument with and I'm flying a drone for the U.S. Obama?
Yeah. Compared to you had a drone and you were spying on our then president, Fidel Castro. Yeah. And no, I wasn't a spy, no. So they went through my phone, they made me get the password, and they saw pictures of my wife and kids and I at the White House. Yeah. Just like any tourist type picture. Okay. Outside at the gate. So at the time Obama was the president. What is, and this is in Spanish, not English, what is your relationship with Obama? Can you call him now? Why were you sent here? And one of the problems is, and I've never said this before with other, I had a guide, like I normally do, a translator. Yes. And the translator, although he was a really good friend, he didn't really understand my business. So I could hear him being interrogated not far from me in the same room. There's no wall. Yes. And he kept saying, yes, him, very rich, big cameras, very powerful in Canada. And to a government official, that sounds like it could be more than it is. Big camera for a Canadian is just like having a camera. It's not,
well, of course,
me going to the White House doesn't mean I know Obama, right? So I'm put in jail, days go by, there's no electricity, the food, they give you one bowl a day. On the third day, the first day my wife realized I didn't call, so she called the Canadian government. And then there's a task force in Canada, Ottawa, that sends people out to find you. Like, we know what country you're in, where are you? Are you dead, in jail, in hospital?
So they said, Chris, come in, the Canadian consulate has sent somebody. And it's funny because it's like a movie. Like, we went in this little dirty room with like old leather couches. So I just asked her, like, can you give me an estimate how long you think I'll be here? Yeah. And she's told me she doesn't know. It could be 2 years, it could be 20 years. And going, once again, that breath of fresh air that I had by seeing her turned back into like anxiety and nightmare.
Long story short, I spent 2 weeks in jail before the Canadian government was able to talk them out of letting me out of jail. Yes. So had I not been Canadian, I would definitely be there today. It happened right before Fidel died, so it's probably 5 or 6 years old now, maybe slightly older. And there were people in the jail that had been there a long time for minor charges, very minor charges.
Crazy. So how did you feel about the uncertainty?
Yeah, that was the most fucked up part. I apologize.
Were you scared?
As a father, right, as a husband, that was the scariest part. Not knowing how long you're going to be there. And being sentenced, like, the charges were not like flying a drone. The charges were espionage, like spying on the country. Right. There's a big difference between being stupid and flying a drone and being a spy. Right. I'm not American. I'm not from the USA. Yeah. Obama had nothing to do with me.
Yes, you mean Canadian.
Nor have I ever met. I should have met him afterwards, but no. So what happened on the 13th day? They said, so I have to pay a fine, $20 a day. And that was another thing, is those people that were in jail, a lot of them were able to leave, but they couldn't afford the $20 a day service fee After 2 or 3 years, you're from a different country.
Yes.
Who has that kind of money to spend, right? So they let you stay in until somebody will pay, meaning you'll stay there forever,
Crazy.
right? So they brought me to a bank in handcuffs, unhooked me. I took money out of the bank. I paid for my 13 days, whatever that is. They brought me to a ticket place to buy an airplane ticket, and I had to wait a day or two for the next flight. I said, give me a flight anywhere. I'll go Jamaica, I'll go anywhere. They're like, no, you have to go to Canada.
Okay.
So I had to wait an extra 2 days for a Canadian flight. To end the story is like, they walked me to the airplane, sat me there. You know how you normally wait for a plane for 2 or 3 hours?
Yes.
So I sat there with shackles, feet shackled, hands shackled,
Like
army,
criminals for
full
flying.
military, even after they found me innocent.
Yes.
And now the plane comes. You know, they say if there's any children or people with disability come in, so that's my chance for the police to bring me in.
Okay.
In shackles. They sit me in my seat and then come down and take my
criminal.
thing. And I was so happy. I didn't care. But nobody would sit near me. All the chairs, nobody would sit near me. And that's my story of being a spy in Cuba.
When you walk in and there's no electricity, like the guard to turn the light on literally went like this and put 2 pieces of metal together.
So how were the conditions in the jail? Like you
Yes.
had nothing, wasn't it boring?
Yeah, it was extremely boring. Not knowing the time, no electricity, bugs. I remember one time stepping down and ants, I don't know what they're called, the ants that eat you, like bite you, you know, just all over my leg because you can't see at night, right? There's no running water to drink. A toilet is a hole in the floor, so no toilet paper, no nothing.
Have you had a private cell or were you shared?
Yeah, it was a private cell because the only reason is I was under investigation.
Okay.
So they wouldn't mingle me. I had no outdoor privileges because I wasn't sentenced. So once you're sentenced, then you're put into the community, and at least you're allowed outdoor privileges. And there's a community room with a TV, which I didn't get until the final day I was there. Once they called me innocent, they said, okay, now you can go outside. So I got to participate with everyone else.
Okay, I see. And now you're banned from Cuba?
No,
You can still visit.
I've been back.
You've been back.
I've been back
already.
once,
You're not
yeah.
afraid?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They told me when they found me innocent that I'm always welcome.
They still brought you in shackles to the airplane?
And the explanation was, and it's funny, nobody spoke English any step of the way until that day, where a high official came and said, we did this for the greater good of our country. We want to make sure that there's no spies. You're welcome to go home, put your drone, and come back tomorrow. You'll always be welcome in Cuba.
Okay, crazy story. All right, and you said your most amazing country you have been were Namibia.
Namibia,
Yeah,
number one.
why is that?
Everything. It has like animals, wildlife, driving, which I enjoy, and the Himba tribe, which to me is one of the most memorable experiences. Like an authentic, real African tribe, still living the way that they did hundreds, if not thousands of years ago.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So how did you find them?
Just driving. Well, first of all, they're very flamboyant and they're red, like they put clay on their face and hair. So I'm 42.
Oh, 42.
Yeah, we're the same age.
You see?
Yeah.
I
But normally when I stop, I just ask people questions like, where can I find them? And I found a small area, very northern Namibia, in which they were like literally 1 out of every 2 people was a Himba tribe.
I see, cool. And you were also inside the zoo in Uganda.
Yeah, Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Money talks, right? Like that's no money, no funny. I was in an African zoo, and no one was there, and it became a little boring because no one was there to talk to. So I slipped the keeper $50, maybe $100, I don't remember, and he started opening up the cages and letting me in with the animals, like the rhino, the elephant, feeding the giraffes, and dancing with the prehistoric animal there.
Yes, the Shubil.
Shubil,
Shubil
yeah.
stock.
To be honest, before that moment, I didn't even know that these animals still existed. I've seen photos of them, but I didn't realize that they're native to that part of Africa only.
Yeah.
So
That's
that was
fascinating.
incredible.
So what is the most interesting part for you when you travel?
The learning new things, the meeting new people. Since now I shoot YouTube videos as well, it's almost like a key to new locations that I didn't have before. It's weird that when you show somebody your camera, they're more likely to tell you more information or bring you to places that you might not been able to get to So it's like a key, a secret key. And now because I want to create content that's interesting for other people, I ask more questions that I want the answers to, and hopefully other people want the answers to as well.
I see, I see. All right, and your first solo trip was to Jamaica.
Yeah, 1999. So I'm aging myself. Yeah.
You spent 8 months in Jamaica.
I was a young buck back then, inexperienced, and scared out of my pants.
Why you choose Jamaica?
My friend was Jamaican, and he said, long story short, that he had his house available. He was going to go for a week or two, and then if I wanted to stay there for a fee, I could stay in the house because his mom was coming to Canada.
Okay.
So I took up on the opportunity.
I see, in Kingston.
Spanish Town.
Town.
St. Catharines is about an hour away from Kingston.
I see, Spanish Town. And what were some crazy experiences you had during these 8 months?
I think everything was crazy. I wasn't as adventurous then.
Yeah.
So I would venture out, but it wouldn't be me walking around solo. So I mean, if you put me in the circumstances now, I'm going to have more fun now.
Okay.
Then I was intimidated because it was my first time traveling. And it wasn't because I was in Jamaica or I was around Jamaicans. I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, whereas most of my friends growing up were Jamaican. So I mean, out of every 10 people, 8 of them were black. So it was never a race thing for me being in Jamaica. I understood what they were saying. It was just a different, I had never traveled alone, right? Like, I never had to go to a market and buy a live goat and get somebody to kill it, or I'm not eating. Like, that was all brand new to me. I'm used to going to the supermarket. But I mean, learning through doing was one of the best parts. Like, looking back, it opened my eyes to travel and the possibility.
Yeah, that's crazy. Very few black people here in Ukraine, by the way.
I've noticed.
Yeah, less than in Germany or in Canada or anywhere.
I've noticed. The little time I've spent in Germany, I actually noticed a lot more black people than I would have thought.
Yeah,
but here I've actually noticed.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what are some of your future travel plans?
Everywhere, man. You got me inspired. North Korea, India, Pakistan, Nepal for sure. Get in a little bit better shape and do some of these mountain climbs like Kilimanjaro. It's endless, really. That's why I've enjoyed the little time that I've spent with you, is because like I can talk about travel all day and all night. It's rare, except for when I'm traveling. Like when I'm in Canada, it's rare for me to have a conversation about travel. Because if I ask my friend, like, what's your favorite place to go? They'll be like Florida or like Mexico, Cancun. I'm like, that's not
mainstream.
And I go to Dominican Republic, but I don't leave the resort. That's dangerous. I'm like, oh my God, like you're not really enjoying it. So, I mean, things like this where we're all from somewhere completely different. We can have a drink and talk about, what brought us here to this table right now today. Right? We all have some kind of love for travel, or we wouldn't be here.
Yes,
adventure, especially during this time. So we're all a little bit, something is missing, or we wouldn't be in the Ukraine on this very moment, right?
Exactly.
And that's the best part.
Exactly. And here, what are your plans for the Ukraine?
Yeah, I'm trying to get as close as I can to the front line. So tomorrow we're going to start the drive as close as we can. As to where it's going to bring me, I don't know.
Are you not afraid?
No. I'm scared of heights.
I'm scared of heights, but I can't miss out on an opportunity like this.
That scares me.
Your biggest fear is the heights. You're more afraid of going to like a high platform than going to the war zone.
I would never bungee jump.
Yes.
No, anything like that, no way. No way. My body wouldn't be able to do it.
Bungee jumping is more scary than going to the war.
A million times.
Front line.
A million times scary.
The shelling.
A million times.
Yes.
So that's, I'm here. I'm going to witness what I can. And once again, that's sort of my slogan, is to go where other people don't want to go.
All right.
And it's not for views. It's for my inner lust for adventure.
All right. So it's a bonus, sharing it with the world. So what was your intention to start the channel?
Just that. As we talked about, just to keep information for myself. It's actually a very selfish thing to shoot content. It's like I'm shooting content that I want to shoot.
Right.
I don't care. Nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody can, entice me to. We were talking about like it might be cool to, do some food type of stuff.
Yes.
But it's just not for me.
Right.
So I don't want to shoot it. It means I don't have to shoot it. Right? No insult to anybody else. It just gives me, once again, that key to do whatever I want. It's not my job. I don't get paid to do it. So it allows me to do whatever I want.
I see. Do you still remember your first upload on YouTube?
Yes.
Where was it?
Greenland.
In Greenland?
One of my favorite places. Have you been to Greenland?
No.
Incredible. I'm going to swear again. Have you been to Greenland? Greenland?
Six.
No, you haven't been to Greenland.
How many?
Iceland. You have to go to Iceland to get to Greenland. I went to a city called Culisok, which unfortunately has the highest murder rate in the suicide rate in the world. 250 occupants, residents in the small village. One hotel, one store. 24 hours of sunlight during the summer and almost 24 hours of darkness, where the job is like hunting seal and polar bear. That's it. Like there's no other industry. No alcohol allowed because it's depressing. It's like all you're doing all day is the same thing. You wake up and hunt every day. So cul-de-sac, but what an incredible, like unlike anything you've ever seen in your life, because it's just nothing. When I went to the airplane lands, you take it from Reykjavik, Iceland, you land, and I'm waiting there, and I'm looking out the door. You have to go into the airplane and take the suitcase off. Like the trunk opens on the airplane, you take it yourself. And then I'm buying a Coke at the little store on the way out, and she stamps my passport. The same woman that you'll buy like a sandwich and stuff, she stamps your passport. And I'm like, this is incredible. So I spent only 3 or 4 days there this summer. I definitely want to return. The icebergs and everything, incredible.
Isn't it expensive?
I don't recall. Yeah. See, the one thing I've been fortunate about, right, with my travel, which I think makes me different, yeah. I've never stayed in a hostel in my life. My number one reason is I like my private space. So even with my translator today, I booked 2 rooms. Just I like to walk around naked. I snore. If I want to get up and watch TV in the middle of the night, like I like that privacy. Money has never been a problem for me. I have a successful business at home. So I'm allowed to travel in a different way. It's a more privileged way. You know, I rent cars, I stay in nice hotels, I eat whatever I want. Is it a better way to travel? Probably not. I think if I were to stay in hostels, I would meet more travelers, which might open my eyes to other opportunities. But it has allowed me to travel as often as I do, the way I like to travel.
I see. And Greenland is amazing for nature.
And then your question was, is it expensive? I went long-winded. Yes. I don't know. I don't remember what the price is.
I don't remember, yes, yeah. But the nature there is fascinating. But is it the best country for nature?
No, well, there's very little nature because it's so cold, right? So you'll see seals and whales. Polar bears, I didn't see. It's very rare. So, I mean, that's all you're really going to see there. There might be like Arctic fox, but I didn't see any.
And what are the best countries for nature and landscapes?
Africa, no doubt. Africa, the sunset, the sunrise in Africa, animals in Africa, the smell, the atmosphere. Africa for me, all the way.
Right. Yeah, we came out of a nightclub and there was an elephant right out of the nightclub.
I love it. Yeah. And I wasn't even intoxicated. Imagine how I had been intoxicated, I might try to jump on the elephant and ride him home. But yeah, I love Africa. You know what? I've never been to a country I don't like. Yes. There's countries I don't like as much as others, but I've just never had that bad of an experience where I just would say I would never go back to that country. I've always had some kind of enjoyment.
I see. What was the hardest country you have to get to?
Sorry?
What was the hardest country you have to get to?
This country, right now.
Right
it was a nightmare. I sat like on the bus was like 15 hours, and I'm telling you, I wish I could have taken a picture. It was nighttime. The guy's chair was on my chest. Yeah. And there's another person here, and another person, and I was like this for 15 hours. Okay. And my chair didn't decline because I was the back seat. And I would tap the guy and say, like, can you move the chair up? He'll be like this, but he wouldn't move the chair up.
Yeah, but you haven't taken a bus in Africa.
Like I've taken a bus, like a regular bus.
Long distance?
No, I'm not doing any long distance, no.
Yeah, that sounds tough.
Yeah, and in the heat as well.
Yes.
But no, I guess that's the hardest. Getting here took a couple days.
Oh, crazy. All right. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So, follow. The channel is called Chris Must List. Why is it called Must List?
It's like a bucket list. You know, everybody has a bucket list.
Okay.
I have the Chris Must List, like the things that I've always wanted to see in life. So it's the Chris Must See list, Chris Must Do list.
Oh yeah, another question. What is high on your bucket list now?
Oh, there's so many. You got me. How do you say this is the end of our conversation? Let's start like this. The Great Wall of China, for sure. India.
Okay.
Pakistan and North Korea. North Korea is like, it's got to happen like very soon. because it's been on my mind so long.
I see.
And then we talked about it.
Right.
I need to go.
Yes.
I need to be one of the few human beings that's.
It's a great place to
seen
be,
it.
in fact. Yeah.
Don't let other people hear you say that.
Yeah.
You got to say it was horrible, and but yeah, I can't
Hard
wait to go.
get, Yeah. But,
Yeah.
right. And for activities, what is on your bucket list for activities?
I don't know. You never know. Every country, you know, new opportunities. Like an activity tomorrow, I could be running from bombs. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
Right.
I sort of like just go with the flow.
Right. Cool. So highly recommend following Chris
I
from
appreciate
Toronto.
it. I'm honored.
All right. Thank you.